Good afternoon. I'm Adam Seipel. I'm a digital teaching and learning coach in Winston-Salem for Forsyth County Schools. And today I'm going to be talking about the need for digital spaces with my friend Jacob Standish. And I'll let you introduce yourself, Jacob.
Thank you, Adam. So I'm Jake Standish, Program Manager of Digital Learning with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. Really excited to share this idea. Adam and I have talked a lot about this, so hopefully this will be of value to those of you who watch.
Absolutely. So again, today we're going to be talking about digital spaces, and there's a really big push in North Carolina right now and throughout the country for learning management systems, and that teachers will have a digital space where they can conduct their instructions. And so we're going to look at a few different ways, regardless of what learning management system you're using, that you can connect with your students and continue to extend what that educational experience can be. So our first way that we like to use these digital spaces is to collect. And there are a few different ways that we can use this term as we talk about learning management systems. And one of the best ways is this concept of curation. Jake, can you tell us a little bit about curation?
Yeah, so any digital learning space should be the one stop that your students go for the content and the resources and how they share what they're learning. So the curation, it's not about recreating everything in your digital learning space, but linking to and embedding and importing all of these things across the internet into your digital learning space. So the different LMSs that are used across the state have a lot of that built in, just making it real simple to curate the best resources for your learners.
Absolutely. And here's a really quick example. This is my team, how we curated and collected resources for how we serve our teachers. So we have different help guides we collected, and there are different resources that we made and that other educators have made about these learning tools that we commonly use in our classrooms in Winston, and I know that you use in Charlotte as well. And so it's all in one place. In a way that some teachers have really liked the curation idea is that those same resources will be available next semester or next year as well, so that you don't need to keep starting from scratch each and every time you use one of these tools. Our next one that we have in here is being able to collect work from our students, and the students can show their mastery of a concept. So with our learning management system and with most learning management systems, you can have students submit their work and the teacher can annotate. And this is a really great way that we can collect work samples and demonstrations of mastery from our students. And our next way that we can collect, and I'll pass this over to Jake for this one.
Yeah, so there are several ways you can actually collect information from your students, different submission types, and so learning management systems can give students just a text box prompt that they type their response to for demonstrating their learning, but even a URL to another website. So if you have students blogging, they can post their blog URL as the assignment. Media recordings, a lot of the learning management systems allow you to have the students just use their webcam or the camera on their phone even to capture their demonstration of knowledge, which we find to be very powerful with our performing arts classes and PE. We've had a lot of adoption in our district with PE courses and orchestra and choir, because they can record their assignment. They can submit their assignment as a video recording, or even uploading files from their computer. So there's just a lot of options for the types of submissions. All of those are digital examples, though, which is the cool thing about it. Is, I mean, there's more than one way to submit something that's digital.
Okay, so welcome back. We just had a few technical issues. I'm right back here with you. And our next way that we like to use our digital space is to connect. And with connecting, there are a few different ways that we can do this. Let me jump back to our presentation real quick. And with this one, Jake, a little bit ago, talked about how we can embed different resources. And one way that we do this in Winston is we like to use Padlet walls, which is a great resource, free resource that we can use, and put that directly into our digital space so that students can have impromptu discussions. And then another way, and we use this both for professional purposes and instructional, we use discussion boards. And we have a really great anecdote from how this was used in one of our high school classes. A couple months ago, I was in an elementary school, and a parent came up to me who also happens to be a teacher, and she came up and said, my daughter has been out for the past 10 weeks, and she was missing class, but her teacher has been using her digital space, and this child who'd been out was able to communicate with her class every single day through discussion boards and still take part in the instruction, even though she was not physically able to be there. So the digital space really provided some great opportunities to connect in that instance. Our next one, Jake, I'm going to pass this back to you for virtual conferences.
Yeah, so virtual conferences. We got an echo here. Okay, I think we're good now. So you can use virtual conferences, any webinar type of platform, even Google Hangouts like this could be used for this. But a lot of learning management systems have a platform for facilitating a virtual meeting. Take a day like today, where we have a snow day. Students are not at school, most schools across the state. So while they're out, you could actually facilitate some virtual meetings with students. I did this 11 years ago with students using Skype, was able to create some virtual meetings to help students kind of have an office hours where it's not necessarily during the day while they're in class, but being able to help facilitate this learning experience as the students need the help.
It's a really good example. Thank you for sharing that. And this next one is Gradebook. And can you tell us a little bit about how you use Gradebook for connecting with students?
So the great thing about having a virtual gradebook, a digital gradebook, is that some things can be automated. Like you have an assignment here. A lot of learning management systems give you options to message students based on how they have done with that assignment, whether they haven't turned in the assignment or if they haven't been graded. So if I haven't graded some students, I could write a message and say, look, it's really crazy right now, but I will grade your work. Please know it's coming. Or I can even message students that have they've only earned a certain score, or send messages to those who have scored really high and say, hey, great job. Or if they've scored less than, I could say, there's an extra assignment if you want, or I'm going to let you resubmit the assignment. So all those different communication methods within a gradebook really help give you that feedback so that the students are motivated to continue working.
And we've been really intrigued with some gradebook features. We have some teachers throughout our district who are starting to look at mastery-based grading, and that you can do that in these digital spaces too, and you can track standards, and that gives a really clean snapshot for the parents about, and the student, here's what I personally need to work on, or here's how I need to support my child who is a student. So some really cool things that you can do with Gradebook that even looking back a couple years ago, we weren't really able to facilitate with the tools we had at that point.
Right.
Next we have Collaborate, and this is a particularly favorite one of mine, and I'm sure we've got some great examples of collaboration going on in our digital spaces.
So one thing I mentioned here is using Google Drive and Google Docs specifically. The APIs